Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. I hope you're doing great. Today we're diving into a very special topic. Some might call it controversial, and I believe it is. We're going to be talking about the two major networks in the FlightSim community. These are two big networks, there's no doubt about it, but there's a lot of differences between them, and I think it's important for those who are starting out to highlight these differences and pick the best one for you. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the topics. Now, if you're enjoying the type of content that you see on this channel, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, comment, share with your friends, all the good stuff, and help us get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We're going to be talking about IVAO, we're going to be talking about VATSIM, and it's good to realize that both of them used to be together on a project called SATCO many years ago. But unfortunately, due to complications that I don't want to get into, they split up and they are now IVAO, VATSIM, and I'm only going to be talking about these two because they are the most prominent right now, but we have other more recent options like POSCON, but the project is not going very well at the moment, so we're going to skip that. So we're going to focus on IVAO and VATSIM. Both are free. They have different rules and regulations, but they are both free, completely free. There's no scam behind it. They are completely free. You can enjoy the full experience on both networks for free without having to pay a single dime. Now, it's important to mention that this divide between IVAO and VATSIM is decades old, and it all boils down to opinions. I'll try to be as objective as I can, and especially as a user of both networks, and especially owning a virtual airline that operates and is partnered with both of them. So, as objective as I can, and at the end of the video I'll let you know of my own opinions and my own preferences on the networks. Now let's talk about the software. Okay, IVAO develops all of their software, be it the pilot client or the ATC client. It's all developed in-house. It's their own system developed by their DevOps department or division, and they develop everything from scratch on their own without having to rely on any external entity. VATSIM, on the other hand, uses third-party software, which was obviously developed for them to use, but it's not VATSIM's property per se. Still talking about software and focusing on the pilot client and the ATC client, IVAO has some really nice up-to-date UI or user interface for their software. The Altitude pilot client and the Aurora ATC client, they look very good. The user interface is very clean, everything is very modern, and it looks very good, especially on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and yeah, it really looks current. On the other hand, VATSIM use UI that is simplistic. I could see it as being a bit outdated. Possibly it's gonna get updated soon, but you know, especially for MSFS, we use vPilot to fly on VATSIM, and it doesn't look very pleasant to the eyes per se, but it does its job very well. And the back-end software is considerably better than the IVAO one, and we'll get to that in a few points. Regarding any sort of award or tour system, IVAO is the only network that has these type of things. IVAO has multiple tours. They have world tours, they have division tours, they have virtual airline tours, which are basically a group of legs, or a group of flights that at the end, by completing all of the legs on that tour, you get an award which goes into your profile, and it's good for showing off to your friends. On top of that, you have many different awards that IVAO gives to you for completing various things. It's pretty nice. It's like a trophy case at the end of the day. On the other hand, VATSIM doesn't have any of this. I'm still not sure to this day why they don't have it. I really wish they did, but they don't. They don't have a tour system, they don't have award systems. I think it's by design that they don't want to do this, and I think we have to respect that decision. People have been asking for it for ages, and it's never been done. Maybe in the future, we'll see. IVAO works on a division system, so basically if your country has a division, you'll be placed into it if you wish to. VATSIM works more or less the same way. It's just called VACCs, They work on that system. For example, I'm from Portugal, and IVAO network, I'm from the Portuguese division. In VATSIM, I am from the Portugal VACC. So it's basically the same thing. It's just they divide it into countries or sections of that area. That's basically it. So they kind of are the same thing, but just different names. Both networks offer VA partnerships, and that is pretty important if you own a VA. The only thing that I think IVAO is better on that sense is that they offer custom model matching for each VA. So if you own a VA that is a partner of IVAO, you have access to custom models for your virtual airline. So everybody that flies on the IVAO network will see your virtual airlines models every time they fly, which is pretty neat. There are options and there are ways you can force this on VATSIM, but at the moment they don't necessarily have a way, or they don't necessarily provide this out of the box. Speaking of custom model matching, IVAO develops their model matching in-house as well. They have most likely the best system for model matching. They have spent a tremendous amount of time developing this, and it looks really great, and it's up to par with the other model matching solutions that we have in general, like FSTL and AEG, and that other thing that I forgot that's by Just Flight. I always forget the name. And it's really nice quality, and that's it. On VATSIM, you have to use one of these solutions that I've told you about. So FSTL, AEG, and something traffic by Just Flight. You have to use one of those to get your model matching done. So I don't know, developed in-house model matching sounds pretty cool to me, especially with that BA thing. Now we get into the problems on the IVAO network versus the pros on the VATSIM network. IVAO has a lack of quality control, and this has been apparent over the past few years. It used to be a lot better than it is right now, and it's just been going downhill every single year, and it's the lack of quality control. There is not a lot of quality in the pilots on the network. There's not a lot of quality on the ATC provided. So in this regards, VATSIM is way ahead. They have better ATC training, they have better ATC quality in result to that ATC training that is better. The pilots in result to that are actually better because they interact with more professional and more qualified ATC. There is superior pilot training as well on VATSIM, and that's pretty apparent when you're flying on both networks weekly. On top of this, we could talk about numbers, and at this moment, at least in 2024, IVAO has a smaller number of pilots and ATC online, and VATSIM is clearly crushing it, sometimes with double the number, sometimes with even 3 times the number of pilots that IVAO has on a regular basis. Now, the general opinions about these two networks is that IVAO has become a newbie friendly, so it's good for learning, whereas VATSIM has become a more professional network, something like a step for you to take on your flight simming journey. Now I have to go back and talk about the interface, the user interface again, because both networks offer a live tracking solution. WebEye is the IVAO's online tracking solution, and it is awesome. It looks amazing. You can see on the screen the map itself is really nice, all the interactivity with it, and it's been updated not too long ago. It looks pretty nice. On the other hand, VATSIM has to rely on third party. Again, they had the native VATSPy program. It's not great. It has a lot of information, but it's not pleasant to the eyes. But there are a lot of third-party alternatives like SimAware, like VATSIM Radar, which is a bit more recent, and they all look as good or slightly better than WebEye at the moment. IVAO used to be seen as more EU friendly. So basically, if you were from the US, quote unquote, you would fly on VATSIM. If you were from Europe, you would fly on IVAO. This is not the case anymore. This is clearly not the case anymore. We see a lot of see a lot of Europeans flying on VATSIM. Actually, like I've said before regarding the numbers, there's a lot more pilots and ATC coverage on VATSIM at any time of the day than there is on IVAO. Now, IVAO offers a content creator program, which is pretty cool, and they let you advertise as much as you want, and there's levels to it. Pretty nice. VATSIM, as far as I know, don't have that, which is a plus on the IVAO side, I would say. Another thing that kind of grinds my gears, and this is on the IVAO side, radio frequencies are locked to open positions. What I mean with this is that if you want to go on a separate frequency with your friends, for example, or if you own a virtual airline, you have a company frequency that's designated for you guys to talk between each other, you can't do that on IVAO because the frequencies, even though they're not tied to TeamSpeak 2 anymore, they still rely on the frequency per se being opened. So it means that somebody has to go into their ATC software, open up the position, open up that frequency so for you to be able to speak on it. On VATSIM, radios work just like in real life. You can input a frequency and talk on it anytime. It doesn't matter if it's a frequency from an active tower or if it's not. So that on that aspect of realism, VATSIM is quite superior. So there's a lot of topics that I covered here. I want to hear your opinions on the comment section below. It's really important. I know this sparks up a bit of a heated discussion because honestly this all comes down to opinions at the end of the day. I try to be as objective as I can, but it's always good to have different opinions, and it's always good to have a friendly and peaceful discussion on the comment section. So if you want to give your opinion, go ahead, let me know what you think about each of the networks. Let me know if I missed anything. I might have missed. I tried to do as many bullet points as I could, but I might have missed something. So just let me know in the comment section below. Now, in my own experience, I flew and I started out on IVAO. I spent a lot of years on IVAO. I left IVAO, I came back to IVAO, I tried post-con, I tried flying offline. So IVAO is the starting point of my quote-unquote flight sim career. It's where the virtual airline that I own started out, and it used to be our home. So we eventually moved over to VATSIM, and I tried it out, and at the moment, yep, I'm pro VATSIM, and I think I will be for a long time. VATSIM has reached that level of professionalism that is helpful for those who want to learn. It has reached that level of professionalism that is enjoyable and immersive, and it provides, because of that, an experience that is quite unmatched and it's honestly not available in IVAO anymore. Now, this is my experience, and this is because I've been flight simming for a while now. But if you are watching this video and you never joined an online network and you want to learn, honestly, I would probably pick IVAO. It is seen as a more beginner-friendly network. It's a lot easier to get into. People are more forgiving, and it might be the best choice for you if you want to learn. Now, don't let me discourage you and say, oh, go to IVAO if you want to learn because VATSIM is going to kill you. That's not what I'm saying, but you'll have an easier time learning on IVAO, that's for sure. Honestly, if you want to go straight into VATSIM, be my guest. You'll love it, clearly, but you will be overwhelmed, and you'll need to learn, you'll need to read, you'll need to watch tutorials, and if you want to do that and jump straight into the most realistic and immersive experience you can have while flying online, then go for VATSIM. If you want to take it easy, step by step, go to IVAO. That's pretty much my opinion on this, both from my personal point of view and from what I recommend to beginners, if that is the case out there. So that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share with your friends. Until the next one, safe flights to everyone. See ya!